back to the channel, everybody. Mr. Rainbolt signing in today, bringing you the Automata Part 2 video. In this video, it's going to be the final part of the Automata project. After this video, you are going to become an Automata ONSHAPE master. You're going to have it done where your project will be completed. Now, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking your Automata box and we're going to go from this to this. So now, biggest steps for us here, I'm going to go ahead and click loop on this, and then I'm going to put this on 30 for the steps. Now you're going to be able to see this go a whole lot faster. Basically what we're going to be doing with this is we've got to add in this crank arm right here. We've also got to add in these guides.
Whoa, what the heck?
We've also got to add in our follower rods. And then right here, these are the follower tips. Now as you can see, these are pointed. These are nothing like what we're going to actually be printing out for in person for the follower rod tips. All right, what we're actually going to be using for the follower rod tips in person is going to be little marbles. So that's what we're going to be using for those parts. All right, anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go back to the point where you all are at. And in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Okay, so what we first want to end up doing in here is we want to make sure that we're bringing in 3 guides.
3 follower rods, a crank arm, and then what we're also going to want to do is we're going to insert, and I'm going to search pointed. You're going to want to do this too. We want to bring in the pointed follower tips. Now, I'm just going to forewarn you all. I'm bringing in 3 of these. For some of them, you do need to do the rounded tips, but most of the time it is these pointed tips is what you need. Okay, so for the pair cam and hex cam, I can at least verify that you do need the pointed tips for those. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start off by adding these tips to the followers. So these follower rods are going to have these tips on the end. What we're going to do in real life is we're going to actually have those marbles. So we're going to have some clear looking marbles, and we're going to use those for the follower tips. But in OnShape, we actually want a single point for those. So now I'm going to press green check mark, and then now what we want to do is go ahead and come in here, boom, and then also right here, boom, and then now green check mark again. What I also want to do is I want to fasten my crank arm as well on here. So that got scary. I thought I was going to get the blue screen of death there, everybody. That is always the thing with my computers, that my computer will start to freeze and I get blue screen of death, but thankfully it was just because I had right-clicked on something. So I press green check mark. I had that crank arm put on there. Now what we also want to do is we also want to fasten these guides. Now this is a whole lot of fastening that we're doing today. Let's go ahead. Let's start by putting that center guide on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this video too to speed up this process, but I'm just going to show you this first one. I'm going to click on this center part here. What we're going to do is now. Green check mark. Right here, boom. That's it here, boom. There we go. Green check mark. That's made again, boom. And we're also going to click right here. Oops, accidentally did that. Don't do that. One click right here. There we go. So now all of these guides added in here. Up next, what I want to do is I want to actually set these up so that these have a slider mate in them. Because these are going to be able to slide through here, right, through these guides. And basically the guides guide the follower just exactly as they their name is by definition, right? They're going to be guiding our followers. And so now one thing that we do want to keep in mind is, hey, maybe we're going to need some limits on this, right? Because you can see already, isn't this guy going all the way into our cam? Yes, it is. So that's something we might want to be watching, is the limits. Maybe we want to end up bringing in some limits into there. But we're also going to be using the tangent mate. So I'm going to be going through that and kind of explaining that with you all. So we're going to put that on pause just for now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go through here, add in the rest of these. Now I might end up speeding this up for y'all too. Just like this a little bit faster. Slide mate again. Put right there, boom. Right here, boom. Sweet, green check mark. Okay, so now, obviously, we would want to set some limits, right, for how high these can go, because we wouldn't want this to happen like that, right, because that's not realistic. They realistically stop right here. But what we're going to be using is actually a new mate. It's called the tangent mate. So we're going to be using this, and basically what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that this point right here is always going to be in contact with this plane. So now watch this. If I press play, what we want to be doing is we want to make sure that we know where the revolute is for our main axle, because what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be doing the animate, and then I'm going to press play. Now watch this. See how that's working? What I can also do is loop, and then I'm going to change the steps to 30. This thing's going to be going super fast now. See how fast it's going? But hey, what do we know? It works, right? So that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I'm going to press X, and then we're going to be continuously coming back here, because each time we put in a tangent mate, we want to be checking, hey, is this working? Is this animated correctly? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the tangent mate in here again. We're going to click this guy, and then we're also going to click on this face right here. I'm going to press the green check mark. Now, just as I said, come over here, right click, animate, let's get play. We want to set this up for a loop, and let's do 30 so this thing goes fast, because we're kind of impatient, right? We want to be going quick. Now, this thing's working again. Perfect. All right, so then we're going to go to the tangent mate again. We're going to click on this point, then we're going to go to the face. Oops, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Take that back. I'm going to click right here. Press green check mark. Now, hey, let's go in here again. Right-click this guy. Animate. Moment of truth, everybody. Did we do it correctly? We got this. 30 steps. Press play. Boom! Yeah, we did it. That is some celebration confetti right there. So we got it. Perfect. One thing that you might have noticed over here, see how this is just a gap? Is this realistic? No. What we need to do is we need to add in a follower guide, or just a guide. Again, so I'm going to press green check mark. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually fasten this guy. Be careful here. We want to fasten this guy to our axle. Now, we're going to go click right there. And then now, as you can see, this is a little bit too far in there, right? So we're going to offset this guy. We're going to go in the Z-axis. Let's do 0.2. Let's see if that's spot on or not. So let's zoom in here. It's probably going to be 0.15. Yep, 0.15. Now, let's go ahead. Let's animate this again one last time. This thing's set up, right? It's looking good. Let's make sure. Let's just triple check. Make sure that we're good to go. We're going to press play. I'm going to put this down at 30 again. We're going to hit play, and then we're just going to watch this thing moving and grooving. Yeah, so it's looking good. So now, hey, this is the cool part about this. Now that we've created this simulation, now you can be looking at this, and you might be able to get a pretty good idea. Okay, yeah, these are the types of cams that I want to use for my animation, right? What you can also do is you can switch these out always. You can find out what ones you want to actually use. Maybe you're not too sure about this. You want to say, hey, maybe I want to make this 2 hex cams and then a pair cam. Well, now you can do that. You can switch that out and change it. But congratulations. Go ahead, give yourself a pat on the back because you just completed your Automata project in ONSHAPE. Proud of all of you. If you got any questions, please drop a comment. Don't forget, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I will see you all later. Mr. Rainbolt is out. Bye-bye.